If you've been in certain spaces during past few months, then you have certainly heard about Uma Musume Pretty Derby, the horse girl game. You've heard about how charming, infuriating and captivating it can be. But what about the actual game? Well, I've got over 320 career runs under my belt, and I've done so as a free-to-play peasant, not a single cent spent. So let me tell you about my experience playing my first ever gacha game. Uma Musume is a multimedia sensation that was planned so at the very start. It was a bit rocky, as the first season of anime came out in 2018 and the gacha game was supposed to be released simultaneously, or close to the anime's release, but was delayed until 2021, and it became a galloping success. Finally, after 4 years, we have a global release of the game, and in the meantime, in the West, we've had 4 anime seasons, 1 4-episode special, and 1 recap, and 1 proper movie, so it's not like this is some unknown property. Uma stands for horse, and Musume means girl. These horse girls are almost all based on real Japanese horses, or horses that influence the Japanese horse racing scene. That might sound outlandish, but Uma Musume is hardly the first of its kind, as Kantai Collection turned World War II battleships into a collectible anime girls, even before horse girls Yuri baiting was even a glimpse at Cygame's eye. In this review, we will limit ourselves to the game, and make comparisons to the anime whenever necessary. So you don't need to watch it to keep up, but you should though. The anime is great. But what to watch? All of it, obviously. Another important note is that this video is not a guide, but at best an overview of mechanics. I want to focus more on the experience I felt while playing the game. After you boot up the game, go through the tutorial, be amazed or perplexed by the idol concert, and get soured with so much free currency, missions and whatnot that you think you are the fattest horse around. So it might be wise to quit while you're ahead, but alas, we must keep gambling. The presentation has its charms. It's very colorful, and there are tons of neat details. The jukebox, for instance, is one of our favorite things in the game. Amazing. All the horse girls have signature racing wear, personality and traits that can make them memeable or memorable, sometimes both. My few criticisms are that there's a lot of visual noise, and it can feel overwhelming when you start playing the game. You're bombarded with dailies, missions, rewards, events, that it can feel overbearing, but once everything has been settled, I can still find few issues with the UI. I will talk this bit more when talking about the quality of light changes, but one other minor criticism is that there is no muscle definition on our supposed athletes. Everyone has this twig build with varied height and breast size, but there isn't any variety yet, fatty. I die a little bit inside each time I tell Meiji or Ryan that she is swole enough for +5 energy, but she is not swole. There is nothing there. For now, let's focus on this energy bar here. This is standard for mobile games such as Uma Musume, and in Uma Musume you have max 100 energy that restores 1 point every 10 minutes. You use 30 energy to start a career, so you can't just spam careers constantly. Well, you can. You can use this consumable for 30 energy, but they are limited in quantity. Or you can use 30 carats for 30 energy. Why would you do that though? Unless you want to gamble and recreate the 12 billion yen incident with Gold Ship. You are given some horse girls to start your journey with, and once you begin your first proper career, you might realize that hey, this is a roguelite. In a single turn you choose if you want to train speed, stamina, power, guts, wit, rest for energy, run a race, or take a leisurely activity to improve mood and or energy. Or fat finger a wrong choice and waste a turn. You build relationships with your support cards and with quirky event-specific characters and follow the career story of your chosen Uma, filled with choices and 5% failures that make you want to throw your smartphone across the room, or when you lose the maiden race to a horse named 1 Inch of Love. If you're completely new to gacha, then you might have some small advantage over seasoned veterans because when you see a 20% failure, you will take it. That's a 4 in 5 chance to succeed, whereas when a Gacha player sees a 2% failure, they realize that failure is imminent, and they choose to spend their turn resting. As you might surmise, there is energy involved during these events, but a smart trainer will play their cards close to their Uma's chest, and not take unnecessary risks, but the sweet temptations of multiple failed speed rainbow trainings has sent many a Uma to the glue factory. It's not like you are completely without help, as if you fail a career race, then you can use a consumable alarm clock to try again, up to 3 times. So when your 1000 speed, 800 stamina and power horse girl gets blocked, so you still have a chance. Unless you have no alarm clocks left in your account, which can happen, so sometimes you have to make a decision to kill the Uma career so you don't waste any alarm clocks. The horse girls themselves are charming, and all of them have a unique story to tell, both in the side stories, the main story, and of course during the career, which are all told like a visual novel. You pick your favorite, which there are 2 choices, Tokai Teijo or a wrong choice. When you start the game, you get handed a 3-star voucher you can use to recruit from a set list of 3-star Umas. But use that 3-star voucher mindfully. There is no bad choice, but some of the horses are better than others. So here is my 3-step guide for how to spend your voucher. 1. As you browse the list, do any of the horse girls make you feel like love at first sight? Then pick her. If not, then 2. To make your trophy hunting easier, taking Oguri Cap or Marusensky are both good choices, with a slight edge to Oguri Cap. 3. If you're thinking, yeah, but which one is the best as parent? Then this guide is not for you. Consult other guides and tools. The reality is, you will fail, but don't be disheartened when you fail a career, as you're supposed to fail at the start. Focus on trying to clear all of your Uma's tailor set goals, and after that, trying to win the Ura finale, the only career option currently. If you want an easy career, then Bakshin with 6 speed cards is a sure choice. You're rewarded with a good, normal or a bad ending, depending how well you do, that increases the bond with your horse girl, literally and figuratively. Whether you succeed or fail, you can use your Yuma as a legacy parent for another run, and you can quickly turn your family tree into an average visual novel inbred family. Just to remember, triangle bad, circle good, double circle excellent. Aim for at least 1 circle when choosing legacies to avoid drawbacks of incest. It's like I have my own racehorse, and it's almost as inbred and expensive as a real one. Take your time. This is not a race, but keep in mind that this is a gacha game, so there is some fear of missing out that you need to curb. I spoke about the story, and some of them are genuinely engaging, as our horse girls are engaged in a turf war. Some of them are even getting dirt-y. The stories are weaker compared to the anime counterparts, if they have one in the anime. Going through Right Sauer's story hits most of the same beats, but the anime hits them harder. I'd say Nice Nature taking the protagonist role lets the game explore her feelings of insecurity better than in the anime. And King Halo, oh boy, King Halo. I didn't expect that the in-game version of King Halo to become my top 5 favorite horse girl, but here we are. That is all, without going into what emergent story is created by your career choices. My story was that when I saw my vodka lose to some NPC Yuma with a stupid name, I went on a journey to my kitchen cabinet and reached out for the strongest alcohol. The story in game is definitely not an afterthought. Uma Musume overall is just 1 step removed from any class S story. Just replace rivals with big and little sisters and we're set. I've also enjoyed seeing the reaction people have to these idol concerts. If you enjoyed unlocking these idol songs alongside an idol concert after you win that big race, then you might enjoy idol anime. Go watch Love Live Superstar after you're done watching Uma Musume anime. The stories are almost as exciting as the rush you feel after witnessing your Uma come back and win the race by a nose, or the dread you feel when she doesn't activate her skills and slowly loses her ground. Uma Musume balances that feeling of joy with agony of failure that makes it a great game to just spend some time with. There is a lot of room for emergent narratives that will stick with you long after you finished a career. You can start a career, pause it whenever, and come back to it whenever you're pretending to work. It can be frustrating, and I share that with you. If you're struggling, then check this Teo out, that I was trying to build to be my ace. I knew I couldn't get great stats or skills, so I decided to just get the Ura Finale for possible sparks, and I lost the Ura Finale 3 times in a row. I've never been so plucked. So you've done few careers, but you want more powerful Umas and better support cards. What's next? The stars of the show are of course horse girls themselves, and the variety is great already. There are plenty of 1-star, 2-star and 3-star horses to choose from. The 3-star being the most prestigious of course, not Iro though, because Gold Chip and Vodka being 2 stars is a crime. We've got an Emperor, Oyou-sama, a Formula 1 car, Top Gun, Weeaboo, Luchador, a racist, and many more. You can pick your favorite and be confident that with proper parenting and training you can create a strong Uma Musume, who can take on the toughest PvE and PvP challenges. They all have their own stories to tell and only brought up how Umas like King Halo and Nice Nature are great. But before you can experience those stories yourself, you will have to get them, and how do you get them? Well, this is a gacha, so you roll for them, and as you stare at your hoard of free carats, you might be tempted to just keep rolling until you get all the horses. But hold your horses. We need to talk about another part of the gacha experience, and that is the support cards. Before you start your career, you build a deck of support cards that will aid you during training, give hints and events for abilities you can learn to use in races. You can bring 5 of your own cards and borrow 1, and you should always choose the best card, which in your case is probably the max uncapped SSR Hitasan Black. Support cards come in rare, super rare and super rare ranks, where SSR ranked cards are the rarest. But don't underestimate some of the SR cards. Support cards are going to be the real garage thing, since having no pathetic cards in your deck will help you immensely during your career, which makes sense. But as a player it doesn't feel good to roll for support cards instead of Umas. The Umas themselves are in the front and center with their quirky personalities and stories, and you want to roll for them. But you will learn quickly that it's not going to be the most effective use of your carats. And the support cards themselves lack any sort of outward personality, all except one. Because to fully uncap a support card, you need to get the same copy 5 times, and some of the cards are only broken after you hit the 4th copy. In contrast, once you hit a jackpot and get your desired Uma, you can stop rolling for horses. But unless there is a banner for an Uma you like, then it's wiser to roll for support cards. But the wisest decision is to hold your carats and wait for the right banner, which feels even worse. But it's by far the smartest decision you can make. You can spend 50 paid carats once a day to roll once for a support card and for an Uma, which is a good deal, because single roll costs 150 carats. And a single 10 roll costs 1500 carats, which at least guarantees a SR support car or a 2-star Uma. But keep in mind that there is no duplicate protection, as you do want multiple copies, especially support cars, and there is only hard pity, where if you roll 200 times, so 30,000 carats, you can exchange those pity points for the banner card or the banner Uma. All those free carats you got grinding trophies, doing missions, and given away from giveaways feel so meager now. So you head over to the shop and see how much 1500 carats will set you back, and holy shit. Mind you, these are the good deals. After you're exhausted these, then the deals get even worse. Okay, let's talk about the monetization. There is no way around this fact. If you want to have even close to everything, be prepared to spend a lot of money. If you are just starting, then you might scoff at that. You have been showered with so many carats that this has to be more than enough. But those free carats dry up fast. After a certain point, your carat generation slows down significantly, and you slowly start to accrue your hoard of shiny carats, and hope you hit that 30k mark when the next must-pull banner shows up. And with the accelerated timeline compared to the JP version, that point will come sooner rather than later. $1 is worth roughly 71 carats. And if you want to do 10 pulls with a guaranteed SR card, then that is going to set you back roughly $21.5. So the worst case scenario, you want the shiny new Uma, and you will need to pull at least 200 times before you can exchange your pity points and claim your Kira new horse. That will set you back $430. Forget about microtransactions. This is just macrotransactions. There are better deals, as seen by the graph here, but they can only be bought limited times, or they're time gated. The best value is the daily carat pack, but you can only buy that once a month. But honestly, you might consider buying that once a month, as it only sets you back $7. Now you might say, hey, I can use my 50 paid carats to have one bull once a day. What a steal! Yes, I'll just use that to get my desired horse. Yes, you can, but remember, you will not have the guaranteed SR support card or a 2-star Uma within the 10 pulls. That is not the worst part though. The worst part is that these banners rotate after 10 days, and guess what happens to your pity points? They get converted to the by far the least cost-effective currency in the game, clovers, in a 1-to-1 ratio. Worst case scenario, you spend $410 rolling for support card or the Uma, and the banner ends. Your pity points get converted to clovers, and you can exchange 200 of them for one scouting ticket that lets you have one free roll. This is just highway robbery. The pulls themselves don't have any soft pity system, like for example in Hearthstone, where if you don't pull a legendary card after a certain point, your chances increase drastically until you pull one.
It fucking happened. It actually fucking happened. I'm going to IKEA. I'm going to fucking IKEA and I'm hanging myself.
Oh yeah, and to my knowledge, there is no duplicate protection when rolling for Umas. So, have fun. That's a bit unfair, as you do need extra stars to start up your Umas, and you need the extra copies to uncap the support cards. Extra support cards can be converted to cleats, which, while not that cost effective, cleats are still way better deal than clovers. If I were to change anything about this system, which is nigh impossible, since it brings money for Psy games, but I wish that I could roll for support cards, and then if I don't need the banner card, I could use the pity points to earn the current banner Uma instead. Or another way is to have a legacy pity point system that do not reset, and if you get enough of these, you could unlock any previous banner Uma or a support card. Oh, one more thing. I would have a way to earn the 3-star voucher again, without paying of course. The horses that you can earn with that are set, and I wish with the semi-hardcore play you would earn one voucher once a month. It would still take plenty of time to earn all of the starter 3-star Umas, but that would be a good way to fix the gaps in your stable. Psy Games did give out the 3-star voucher for beginning of a new era Blu-ray release, and I'm definitely getting a copy of that even without the 3-star voucher, whenever we get an English release, and I hope Psy Games pulls the same stunt. You can shun all of that and keep your money, but as the time progresses, the whales will power creep, and the gap between the top free-to-play player and the least wealthy trust fund kid is going to widen by the evil nature that the free-to-play player can't have the best support deck, horse or funds to keep running career mode. It is true that raising a good horse will require good support cards and a good knowledge of sparks and affinities, but there is still luck involved, and you as a free-to-play player can have an extraordinary luck and make the whales envious. But whales can have the same luck as well, and most of the money they spend will make luck less and less relevant. Thus your median whale can be at point where they turn the median horse girl into glue, straight after career, which could have easily been your ace. You can still luck out during races though, because there is one mechanic that even the whales are not safe from. As one wise man said, when you're plucked, you're plucked. I take back everything I said. Keep gambling, kids. You can still beat whales by planning your sparks, game plan, and there is joy to building with a limited kit. This is why you shouldn't feel daunted to start playing. You will have to catch up, but these up and coming quality of life updates will make your catching up easier. It's not a race to the top, but a road to the top. But what makes this feel worse is that every new Uma is a 3-star, so even with increased odds, it's a very low chance to pull. I wish they would spread the releases to include 2 and 1-star Umas. There is at least 1 or 2 coming, but man, this does remind me a lot when I used to play League of Legends eons ago, and they released a new champion every 2 to 3 weeks, and the new champion would always cost the max IP amount, which would equate to like 6 weeks of play at least. And if you know a League of Legends player, then you know that 10 minutes into a match and they lose all sanity. They also tended to be broken, taking out an entire enemy team alone or so undertuned that most would have swapped the 5th slot for a ward. So hey, maybe as an idea, Fujimasa March as a 1-star dirt horse that gets released when Season 2 of Cinderella Grey releases. How about that? I did my Ice Queen, even if in reality she wasn't called that and was a terrible horse. Oh, as a note, if you're just starting, then you could try re-rolling your account over and over till you get a great support deck with your free pulls. Check the link in the description on how to do it. But what you can't re-roll is the events that have been going on since the launch. In my case, I didn't start playing when the game launched, so I missed the event where I could have gotten the special week SSR Speed support card. Now I need that for training my Teijo, as it gives a key recovery ability, and I'm pretty much locked in to renting it. Special week is my Chizuru. It sucks that I can't work towards earning these, but these events might have a rerun at some point. I'm not sure about that. Moving away from the money, well, to the money. There are other currencies like monies, which will be used for almost everything. Support points, which will be used to level up your support cards. Shoes and banners that you can use to upgrade the potential levels of your Umas that you can earn by playing the game or exchange for them in the shop. Friend points that you get by playing team trials and other people borrowing your highlighted Uma and or support card. Club points, which you can earn by donating shoes in the club and your club members borrowing your Uma and support card. Statues, which you can sometimes earn in the career, but most of them you will earn by pulling for Umas. You can exchange these to stars that are used to unlock the star level of your Uma. You can spend all of these in the shop, and there are some okay deals, like this Urarara Guts card that is actually one of the best Guts cards. Now if only Guts was useful. I won't go over them in any more detail, as they are pretty self-explanatory. Be mindful how you spend your monies and support points though, since if you start maxing out your Uma's potential and any support card, then you will dry out your reserves pretty fast. This actually happened to me. I was just happily increasing my Uma's potential and suddenly noticed that I didn't have any money left. Remember to read, kids. There are also events in the game, which are a great way to earn all of these currencies and other consumables by doing missions, spinning the wheel, and just by running the career. It doesn't take long till you wish there was some quality of life updates, and there are some coming. Stuff like instantly finishing all of the team trial races and increased legacy borrows from other players that I wish would come sooner rather than later. There are also some other quality of life updates coming down the line, which you can see on your screen, but I do have to question why some of these are not in the global version. If it's spaghetti code, then I begrudgingly accept that reasoning. There are some quality of life improvements that I would like to see implemented, just as the ability to lock Umas in their place in team trials. I just want to set up my ace and 1 or 2 other Umas and just hit auto select, because I'm lazy. but the auto-select makes some baffling decisions, where my team rating gets higher but my Umas are worse. The filters could also be more robust, as it can quickly become a mess trying to find that one horse you've been thinking about using as a parent that just gets lost in this factory of glue. You can add carrots to favorite Umas, but I wish there was another marker. Let's say I would want to tag Umas for breeding with carrots and Umas for potential endgame runners with another tag, like a star or something. It would just make the browsing smoother. I also wish there was a notification on your home screen whenever someone is asking for shoes that you can donate in the club menu. You wouldn't have to check manually each time. I've been dropping terms to you like team trials and clubs, so I should go over them as well. So what do you do with your Umas once you're done with your career? Well, you take on some PvE and PvP challenges. I leave the biggest PvP challenge for later. Team trials lets you build a team of up to 3 Umas per track and distance to compete against other players' lineups. You want to win and activate as many skills as possible to improve your score. If you win, then great, you get bond points on all of your Umas and a friend points, plus you get a bonus to your final score. If you lose, then it's not the end of the world, as you can still get a pretty respectable score. For a PvP content, it's very laid back, and you can spend all of your RP to just lose 5 times and not really lose anything. Your goal is to reach class 6 and to try and retain your position there for maximum rewards each week. You can use consumables in these runs to improve the odds of you winning. You can even earn presents in these runs that can even include carrots, but not in any significant amount. You should be doing these daily, and just like career, you can restore 1 RP by using carrot jelly consumable or paying 30 carrots. This is handy if you're missing your daily sales and that damn Tasuna has not opened the last daily sale, even though you've run 3 daily races and 10 team trials. Room matches are competitive but stress-free, as this is where you can test your lineups or horses to see if they're any good in set races, which will be important when you want to pull your Umas as strong as possible for the biggest PvP challenge. Daily races are used to farm either monies or support points, and you can use your veteran Umas to take these challenges. There is a big first win bonus, but once you get comfortable, you should always take on the hardest challenge, as you get the biggest reward by just participating. And your first Ura final winner, mild/medium horse, can win these, especially if you use consumables. Just remember that career adds 400 extra stats to all of your stats, so make sure that your horse has enough stamina to actually run the race. Legend races are one step above from daily races, as you take on strong horse, but it's worth it, as the rewards are great. First time win gets you a lot of monies, support points, stars for the spotlight Uma, and their shoes to display on your trophy room and take a good sniff off. As you can see, I've missed 2 of these, and if I understood correctly, is that these will come back, and later down the line we can challenge one of these once a day, so you can earn the missing trophies and sweat. The challenge is greater than daily races, so building a good Uma to take these on is essential. Just remember that you can't use the same Uma you are challenging, as many players learned when they had to challenge Bakushin in a sprint duel. In game there are clubs, and you should definitely join one. The rewards each month are great, and this is the only way to earn club points to use in the shop. You can also watch your club members dance to Uma Poyo, so that's great. Outside of the game there are tons of great guides, websites and tools for you to use. Even if you're a casual free-to-play trainer, you still want to follow people with strong support cards and Umas tailored to your needs, and you want to know which banners are worth saving for. For a more hardcore audience, there is a simulation for champions meeting and whatnot. I'll leave the links to all the resources I use down in the description, but going to the Uma Musume Reddit and checking the sticky threads and the sticky posts in them for more resources. Speaking of feeling sticky, there are some endgame challenges and farms you can take part on that feel like grinding. Less grindy mode is to take on PvP challenges, either self-imposed or hidden in game. You can try and take on these monsters that you are supposed to lose on during the main story and try to win. Another PvP challenge is to try and win certain races with certain Umas. Biggest one is to get Haru Urara to win the senior Arima Kiren, and if you succeed, you will get rewarded for it. Less difficult one is to have Kin Halo to beat the Japanese Derby and senior Arima Kiren, and if you succeed in that, you are rewarded with great pieces of story. You need good parents for that, and for Haru Urara you need great parents. So you need to do some spark farming. Spark farming is the grindiest experience in the game. You just run careers and try to win as many set G1 races as you can, while fishing for key skills and trying to win the Ura finale. Now this isn't that bad, but where the grinding comes is the fact that the amount of white skills you can get is random, and to get a 3-star blue spark is so low. First of all, you need to make sure that your speed, stamina and power are at least 600 at the end of the career. Then after you're done that, the game picks one of your stats for a blue spark. This can be any of the 5, so you've got the 1 in 5 chance to roll for the one you really want. For example, 3-star stamina, but you can work with 3 speed or power. That is why we want 600 on all of these. Then if you hit that 60%, there is an additional roll where there is only a 5% chance that you will get a 3-star spark. This increases to 10% if you have at least 1100 in that stat. So you can get a great amount of white skills, but 1-star with blue spark. Or you can get a 3-star stamina spark, but only 1 white skill. And I haven't talked about the purple sparks. Shit is tedious, and this is the thing you will spend most of your time with. Now there are some quality of life changes coming. For example, you can reroll the blue spark at the end of the career, and there is going to be an option to have your career be run automatically. At first I scoffed at the idea. Why should I skip playing the game? But after doing tons of spark runs with no luck, I began to see the light. It's not like these runs are hard and a bot can do just as good of a job. But what do you do with these Umas that have these coded sparks? Well, you train your aces. For what? For Champions Meeting, of course. Champions Meeting is the endgame PvP challenge, and if you're just some casual that does 1 career per day, it is still worthwhile to take a part in these, as the rewards are great even if you cosplay as Haru Urara. You build a team of 3 Umas, match against 2 other players, and winning is all that matters. If one of your Umas finishes first, then it doesn't matter if your other 2 Umas are dead last. Eclipse first, rest nowhere. Of course the whales are here as well, somewhere, lurking beneath the surface, trying to pounce and swallow us whole. So winning is tough, but you have plenty of chances to put together at least 3 wins in one 5th-run try, so it's not that unforgiving. You can do 4 runs in the gauntlet for the qualifiers, but the finals are one and done, making them extra entertaining and nerve-wracking. The meta has been pretty solved, but don't be discouraged or be forced to think that you have to have the meta build, as you can definitely take your favorite horse girl and build her to be a strong contender. If you want to really win, then the real frustration in career starts here. If you get your ace under 10 career runs, then you're lucky. The mood downs, night owls, coming last in hopeful stakes, summer training failing, and terrible inspirations, it's all here. But it feels extra worse, as you're probably borrowing 1 parent from someone, and you only get 3 borrows a day. As I'm editing this video, the second Champions Meeting Gemini Cup has started, and if I take too long in editing, I will share my results at the end. Unless I lose, then I won't be posting it. I will talk about my experience taking part in the Taurus Cup. The Taurus Cup was a medium turf race, so multiple strategies were viable, and of course I was totally unique and brought Base Chaser Tokai Teijo, End Closer Cold Ship, and Evil Nature. I'm breaking new ground here. While I called the experience frustrating, taking part in the Taurus Cup was exhilarating, as I've never been more glued to my screen watching my Umas try and win their race, and I don't think any loss felt bad. Sometimes my Umas got blocked, but that happens to everyone. including the whales. So, how did I do? Well, I didn't expect much. All of my horse girls could have been better. So I was rather shocked when my first run resulted in 4 wins and a qualification to the upper bracket. Okay, I thought, this is just a way to weed out the unprepared peasants from the whales, and in the next qualifier I'm going to barely scrape together 1 win. But I didn't get just 1 win. I got multiple wins and qualified to the finals. Not going to lie, that felt good. These were my Uma's stats going into the final day. As you can see, Tokai Teijo and Goldship really carried their weight, but Nice Nature was really the MVP, creating that space for Teijo and Goldship to perform their job. So I was rather satisfied already, but I managed to dodge a lot of the whales, so there is no way I can actually win the finals and claim the exclusive Taurus Platinum title.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
I haven't felt this satisfied in a video game for a long time, and if you have been disagreeing with my points, then I'll have you know that I got the credentials to back them up. So you better show your badge before you leave a nasty comment. Gemini Cup though, yeah, I don't feel that my results are going to be just as excellent, and I can see why it has been dubbed as the pay to win cup. As for my first gacha game ever, Uma Musume has been a pleasant surprise. Yes, the monetization is terrible, and it doesn't feel great knowing that the whales are widening the gap after each release. But as a free-to-play player, I'm holding my own for now, and I don't see that changing for a while. Check back here in a year and see if I still think that. Now, I was on board with the anime horse girls even before I booted up the game, because Uma Musume is my favorite sports anime franchise ever, and the game didn't need to do anything to win me over. Even something divisive like the idol performances are charming to me, as I do enjoy some idol anime, which can split even some anime fans. One of the strongest aspects of Uma Musume is that you can just pick up a career, pause anytime, and continue whenever, or you can be tryhard sweat and keep running multiple careers a day. It's up to you, and there is no wrong way to play. Take 5 minutes of your time and just think about horse girls, instead of some real life problems you're having. Really give your mind a little break. Comparing this to something like an MMO, where it can take 1 to 2 hours to do your dailies, and you can't just speed up the process by enabling quick play and skipping everything. Uma Musume has certainly replaced Hearthstone Battlegrounds as my mobile game time sink, and it is definitely more casual experience even if I do try to put the perfect Umas to use. There is a lot of character here, not just the horse girls themselves, but they're a big part of it, but the stories you create when you play the game. I still get a bit salty when I think how my ace run was ruined by failing 2 5% stamina trainings during the summer camp. But I also do remember the joy when I hit that 50-50 for Uma friendship training during Ura finale and ensure that I hit that speed cap. Best part is that you can just check out Uma Musume Pretty Derby right now, and there is no wrong time to start playing. Yes, you missed some events, but the quality of life changes ensure that you can catch up faster and faster. I would highly recommend for you to give Uma Musume Pretty Derby a shot. There isn't any need to spend real money, as you'll be content for tens of hours without even thinking about doing some sweaty tryhard builds for the endgame PvP. The RNG can be frustrating, and if you don't like the idea of missing 2 5% chances in a row, then it might not be for you. That's it for me. See you at the Gemini Cup. And if you haven't checked out the anime before this, then I would definitely recommend it. I even made a whole video about it. As a bonus, whenever the Season 2 opening or Little Prayer or McQueen Teijo duo starts to play in the jukebox, I get a little bit emotional. I'm also currently rewatching the entire series and still finding new things to appreciate about it. So give it a chance. Just remember that don't watch episode 13 of season 1 before you've finished with season 2. If you just want to see this fatty in action, then you can just hop in right into Cinderella Grey. And if you like NTR and Agnes Tachyon, then you can start watching the 4-episode OVA and follow that up with the movie. Okay, have a nice one, and may Goddess of Victory bless your gacha pools.
動画パパねねゲーム眠るパパねねプールで飛び込み台から飛ぶとすっ